Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Whoever is in a silent background, feel free to keep responding so that I know that I'm still connected. I'm Suresh Victor, and I've been product manager from past 7+ years now. I've been working with mostly early stage startups till now, and I work with multiple other industries like started with service marketplace, then okay. Started with service marketplace product. Then I moved on to social platform. More people are actually coming in. Should we wait? I saw just 2 people just entered. Should I continue? Should I wait?
I think it's okay, Suresh. You can continue. People
Okay,
might
okay.
take some more time to join in. I think you can.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as I mentioned, I started my career with a service marketplace product. Then I built a social platform for parents, Baby Chakra. And after that I built a product for again kids and parents, hopscotch. It's a e-commerce product. And yeah, after hopscotch it was coin-d6. It's a cryptocurrency exchange. I was there with them. I built the product from the scratch and scaled the product. Now they have a solid product team. Now I'm with Captain Fresh. It's again an early stage startup. We just closed a series A, so solving some real big problem here. So that's in short about me. If you guys wanted to know anything specific, please feel free to. Okay, most of you guys are on mute. Should we get started? A few people joined in also.
So, Suresh, Ravi here.
Yeah, Rafi, please go on.
Yeah, I just have one question. So, as you mentioned, like you work with a lot of startups. So, basically, what is the difference between working with a startup versus working with MNCs? So, if you can help us understand those, it will be
Okay.
helpful for us who are basically transitioning into the product management area.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
this is a critical question comes up with many people, maybe because either people are exposed to being with MNCs or people like me who are exposed to being with startups. The big difference would be in startup, you'll be experimenting on a lot of stuff, and you will, the speed at which you work is a little different. The process you follow will be a little different. But in an MNC, it's more like a process you have to follow because they know what they're doing. It comes with a lot more processes which you need to follow for getting everything done because many people are working together. Uh, yes, there are some startups who are already as big as MNCs, like let's say Flipkart, to mention, Flipkart or Swiggy. So they are also startups, but they are huge as MNCs. But still, the culture will stay the same, where it will be an open office, very less processes compared to the MNC, where you have to follow some specific steps for everything you do in the company. So that'll be the basic difference. Otherwise, the nature of the function as a product manager still stays the same. You're still working for the end customers, and you'll be managing the stakeholders. So nature doesn't change much there.
Yep. Thanks,
Did I
Suresh.
answer your question, Ravi?
Yes. Thanks, Suresh.
Yeah. So guys, anything on a intro level about it, then we can move ahead to our topic.
Suresh, one more question. So basically, I am from a business development marketing role, but I have dealt mostly with the SaaS applications, which are kind of managed services. Some are true products, but many of it are kind of managed services, but as in SaaS applications. So transitioning into a product management role, what would be the things I have to look up, or what should be we mentioning in our resumes and stuff?
Okay. So if it is specific about resumes, we'll jump onto that one because I wanted to start on a specific. Yeah, this can be one good question which I'm noting it out right now. I'll answer it when the time comes to discuss about what to mention. Yeah, maybe if you guys don't have on a very high level questions about me or the product management overall, we can jump on to the actual topic about resumes. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. I have a deck. Just a minute. Yeah, can you all see the screen? Yeah. So I've created some structure so that it helps because we have enough time, right? So it helps we go step by step. Because if we start on a random conversation about picking some topic on the fly, maybe we will miss out covering on some important stuff. That was the whole idea why I created something very simple. And also, I'm not going to, just a minute. Yeah, I'm not going to read out something, whatever is already on the deck, because this is an open topic. I want this to be more conversational because every question, whatever you guys will be very specific to your own day-to-day things, whatever you're doing. So I want to keep it open. Please feel free to interrupt me whenever you guys have any questions or something more to add. So yeah, basically starting from what is a resume, because people first only if they know what is a resume, then you get to decide do's and don'ts on a resume. So first I wanted to understand from any of you, whoever is willing to talk about it, according to you, what is a resume? Okay, so if most of you are going to stay quiet, I can take it from here. So according to me, resume is nothing but a sales pitch. So I think a sales pitch everybody should be familiar about. So you're selling yourself, right? You're selling your skill, or you're trying to sell yourself, informing that you fit in to that place with the right set of skills they are looking for. So it's not an official document. I wanted to make it clear because you guys might have seen how many of you are here. So most of you guys will have your own resumes with different format, believing that okay, this is what works best. Maybe you guys might have checked on online whether this is the format which works best. So you have to keep it very precise that okay, this is a sales pitch. If you are selling yourself, what all I have to mention. So if we keep that in mind, it will be really helpful for you to get a direction on what information can I put and what information can I avoid putting it. Also, I've just added few points. It's not an official document. It is an open canvas. People can choose their own formats. Very few colleges and companies, they have some specific formats. If anybody from IIMs or IITs, you would know the what do they call, the career cell or the placement cell. They help people to create the resumes in a specific format because they believe that's the best thing possible. So other than that, mostly resumes are open, and resumes for different roles will look very different. I've seen some creative resumes where people put in the actual work. Maybe some product designers or some analytics guys, whenever they're applying for it, they usually try to make it more creative so that it can gain attention. So the main point what I'm trying to raise here is you don't have to be stringent about your creativity here. You can be as creative as possible, and nobody's going to evaluate using any benchmark. It's just open. And also another thing is it does not contain any proof. So proof about where you worked and all this, because it's just a one-sided communication. You just put all the information you think is right. And
Hey,
yeah,
hi Suresh. This is Mansi. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Will it be all right if I ask a question, or should I wait till the end of the session?
no, please go ahead. I wanted to make it more conversational. Please
Okay.
interrupt me as
So,
many times possible. It's okay.
you must be aware about ATS resume format, right? That application tracking system that the firms use. So, can you
Yes.
tell us about in India? Is it like widespread? The firms use that kind of a tracking system, and is it relevant that the candidates should use the ATS format or any other format, the normal one that we usually make for a professional based on their experiences? All right.
Okay. So that's a good question. What I've experienced at least is most of the MNCs who can afford to have a full-fledged ATS applications for their recruitment, they usually do. And again, it totally depends on whom you're sending it to, right? If you're sending it to somebody where a lot of applications can go in, and you think that they would be using an ATS, it's always better to have it in that format. It's nothing but the only difference between people having ATS and non-ATS. What's going to happen is ATS format can help the recruiter to take the right data from your resumes and put it in their ATS so that they can reach out to you without any extra effort. So for example, if your email ID is placed in your resume, and it is an ATS friendly format, the system will try to identify that as an email ID or a phone number and autofill the ATS system. So it gets easier for the recruiter to reach out to you.
Right.
That's where it's going to help. But when it comes to applying for startups, maybe pre-Series A startups, most of the people won't be going for it because most of the ATS are really expensive.
Right.
So you can show
Understood.
all your creativity, and the number of applications they get is also lesser. So you should be you should try to capture their attention by being creative.
Right.
I'll just
Understood.
give some context why I'm being very specific about this. Even today, I shortlisted at least, or I reviewed at least around 20-25 resumes today, and I was not able to shortlist more than 2 candidates because
Okay.
most of the people, especially just keeping the context right, in product management, HRs are not the people who are going to recruit product managers. Either it is a senior product managers in the company, or somebody senior in the tech field, or somebody whom you're reporting to, or mostly the CTOs. So the things, whatever you mentioned there, again, because I'm mentioning the persona, I wanted to put it there. Most of the people, whoever is going to review your resumes, are going to be the busiest people in the company who is already busy, and reviewing your resume is one of the tasks they are doing. So if you know this, you have to gain their attention in less than 3 to 8 seconds. Otherwise, they'll just go away and seek for the person who is ready to gain the attention. Yes, it is wrong, but that's the current situation.
Understood. So, will I be right in also, understanding that the ATS system will actually pick up words which are relevant for the job description that we'll be applying for, apart from the email ID and all the contact details, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
That was one example I gave you. That ATS is
Right.
a
Understood.
intelligent system, but they also try to capture all the information which is relevant. And maybe on a very high level, maybe in the future, ATS might be helping them to even do the first level of shortlisting. You're using the resume itself, but currently most of the people are not doing it because most of the ATS is not that smart enough to do that. But
Right.
slowly we will get there.
Yes. Thanks, Suresh.
Yeah. So guys, any more questions, clarifications before we move ahead? Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's not an official document, so you can keep it open. Then it does not contain any proof. So like any of your IDs which you're using, yes, it is obvious, but I want to put it forward for a specific reason that you don't have to mention that any ID or any proofs or certification code, serial number, nothing, because nobody has time to review those. So you can feel free not to mention any of those. And again, next important thing is it's not a place where you write or describe what you do. You have to be very precise about whatever you have done in the past or what you're trying to do after joining the company. So being precise is another key. And also, if you are, most of the resumes keep on talking about what all you can do, right? Interestingly, it's also important what you might not do. So for a product manager, whenever you're applying, one example I could give is, because the product manager as a role is diverse and people have different expectations from product managers. Some can be design focused people, they already have some design background. Some can be analytics kind of a guys who are good with numbers. Some are from software development background. So it's better to inform what all to expect. Yes, that's by default, and it can also help you on the interviews where all you where all they can't expect you to be a pro in that field. So it's just being upfront about something that might also help. So this is something I've not seen people doing it proactively, that can save a lot of time, and it can give a very clear idea for the recruiters to take you ahead. Any questions, guys, before we move ahead?
Yeah, hi. One from me. So one of the points is it doesn't contain proof of anything. Shouldn't we really be calling out what our achievements are? So as in what
Yes,
we have delivered
you
on and what
can.
the achievements. Yeah.
Yes. So that's where I was mentioning, right? You can always specify whatever you have done. But all I wanted to mention is, let's say you're updating your KYC somewhere. You'll be updating your driving license number, right? Or your Aadhaar number somewhere. So I was just specifying things like that because I've seen people doing this. It makes resume too complex. Where you're trying to tell that you have got so and so certification, they start adding links. In most of the places, people don't have luxury of time to go through those. So most likely you can just mention whatever you have. You don't have to be, you should not be trying to prove whatever you have mentioned there, because at least at the resume level, they are not going to check all of this. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Yes. That clarified it. Thanks. Yeah.
Yes. So some people tend to do that. Let's say in LinkedIn, if there is a certification, they give you a snippet where you can add it here because it gives a proof, and every certificate is a unique um, file or a link where they can validate. But whenever you're putting it on a resume, at least now, your ATS or anybody doesn't actually validate most of the claims, whatever they put on the resume. Resume is just a short, it's a sales pitch. Initially, whatever you're good at, put that information in a nice way so that you can give all the proofs and validate at the later stages.
Okay. Sorry. One more from me. And sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Sudhindra. Just another
Hey, hi.
question. Like, yeah, in times of LinkedIn, so does resume soft copy of the resume on a Word document or a PDF still hold good?
Actually, to be very frank and personal about this answer, no, because yes, it is a very friendly format and it looks good. But when you actually try to extract it from LinkedIn, you will have a lot of non-updated or very old information. Like we don't actually go and update on our LinkedIn about our skill sets, right? So if you are very confident that most of the information, whatever you have updated on the LinkedIn, yes, you can export that, and that is also one of the formats. But except for coming out of LinkedIn, I don't think so. It is going to help in many other ways.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Guys, if you don't have question, we can move next.
Hi, Suresh. One
Also,
question.
please. Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, this is Pushkar this side.
Because I'm not on Zoom, if you can just mention your name when I'm calling it out, it'll be easy next time when I have to call you guys. Because all I'm seeing is what you're seeing on the screen. So if you can start with your name, it'll be easy for me to converse.
Sure. My name is Pushkar. Suresh.
Okay, hi. Yeah, please go ahead.
So basically, I just wanted to understand, like you mentioned some certifications, right? In a resume, how much certifications like put a value in a product manager, since you are regularly shortlisting, the candidates?
Okay, so especially for product managers, if you are asking, certification is not a very important criteria we look for, because it's a good to have only for us. Because even a person with all the certifications needed for a product manager might not be fitting in for the requirement I have. Maybe I need a person who should focus on prioritizing things, or I need a person who's good at what design, managing the design team, because you're a design focused company, let's say like Airbnb, or you should be good at stakeholder management. And it's very difficult to validate only from the certifications you mentioned whether you're good at it. Most of the heavy lifting for product manager happens on the interview side of things, and resume is just like a bio on Tinder. If that makes any sense for you guys, and if you have used it, people don't know you and people don't care about you. If you gain their attention, you just need yes or no. That's it.
Got it. Thanks, Suresh.
Yeah. Okay, I'll move next. So I just wanted to clarify about this one. Why resume? Like even after all these technical advancements, resume is very old stuff, right? People were carrying resume those days in a physical paper, and now people have PDFs of their resumes. Still feels old school, right? So it's just another industry which is going through a huge transition, and very soon there will be formats which is, let's say, currently Uber for taxis and Google for search. Somebody takes over, right? And we remember them for what they do. Similarly, resume or applying for jobs as a platform also, slowly it will pick up. We will have some format which is universally accepted, because currently most of the people are using ATS, and ATS still not did not cover most of the use cases, and nobody took over the world. Like if we check top ATS systems in the world, you will still have 2-3 people with the same power in the industry. So very soon we might be in a world where resumes are also having some specific format where it is more user friendly to the system and lesser creative, because system missions are going to do most of the work and not people like today. So that's another reason why resume is still a resume and not no better version of it. Yes, some people can think we have LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is also not doing a great job there, mainly because the frequency of usage of LinkedIn is so less. People don't have updated information there, or at least in the clear format that people would want to consume. And yeah, mostly answer would be there is no best solution as of now, and that's why you see resumes in all different formats and all different mediums happening. By the way, if you guys are curious, there is something new coming up. People are giving their sales pitch, that is the resume in the video format, which is widely accepted in US, and maybe it can happen in India very soon. Guys, any question? or did you guys use anything else other than the resume till today? Have you guys ever thought why resume? Okay, so seems like most of you guys still on mute. Guys, please feel free to open the mic and start asking for things, or at least respond. It feels better. I still feel like people are. Okay, let's move next. Okay, so the basics of writing the resume here. Understand whom you're writing the resume for. So the first conversation was interesting, right? About the ATS. So if you know whom you're writing the resume for, you would have already chosen ATS being the way to go. But if you still don't know in the company, wherever you're applying for, who is going to actually view your resume, maybe you'll be doing it all wrong. So I'll give you one example. If the company is having, why do you think Angel List actually shows you 460 applicants in past one day, for example? It is just giving you that important critical information that there's a lot of inflow happening on this particular company and there's a demand. But on the other side, it is also letting you know that maybe you can actually guess who's actually doing the shortlists. So yes, there is no validation for this. Like you can't really check about what exactly is happening and do something about it. But it might help you guys a lot if you get somewhere closer. If you know HR is the person who's going to view your resume, it's always better to reduce the technicalities of the information, then or put it below on the next sheet maybe, and have all the necessary information about the behavior, your past experiences, and your stability, all this information. But let's say it is more technical and somebody technical is trying to, maybe a CTO or a product head of some companies trying to recruit, then it's always better to be upfront about your past experiences and some numbers, and putting some real numbers will actually help you. So yeah, this is the reality, because no company gives you a confirmation that okay, this is the person who is going to recruit you. This is another disturbance we have to go through every day. So yeah, any questions around this, or do you guys think there is a specific like I at least I feel like there is no one solution fits all here, because definitely HRs might not understand the designer's perspective or a product manager's perspective. These are the information which is in between the lines, where nobody talk about. I just thought I'll cover most of those things, because every other obvious things about size of the resume, words to choose, and all those will already be available. But these are the things can be shared by only those people who are recruiting almost daily. So just trying to give you the right information or more solid information. Most of the people try to ignore.
Suresh, sorry, this is Indra again. Just wanted to ask. So I'm someone who's not from a product background. I do something more on operations.
Okay.
So in that case, since I don't have any relevant product experience, so what are things that I can call out on my resume which will actually influence someone to hire me?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a beauty. Yeah.
Suresh, so hi, I'm Akash. So I have a related question just to add more nuance to this question. So what I've observed is like if you're in a sales, let's say in a sales role and somebody is hiring for a sales role, if you have written that you have led so many people in your team and you have done this much turnover, that will attract eyeballs and that will help you get a senior sales role or move to some other organization. So coming to product, like they generally in the job description they say you will be developing product strategy, doing user research, you will be doing analytics. So how do we demonstrate all these kinds of job description requirements when we haven't done all these kind of things?
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect, man. Thanks for putting it out there. So
Yeah.
especially when you're doing the transition, and I would like to pick up the top transition happening, right? Either UI UX folks transition into product, or business operations guys transition into product, or a developer transition into product. Okay. If you see all of this, most of these guys would have done something related to product in their own work in the past, right? Let's say business operations guys, they also create all the documentation. They actually solve day-to-day problem. More than product managers, business operations guys are the ones who are solving the problems in a higher frequency. So you can actually mention the base or the components of components, which is a skill set needed for a product manager, which you already own, which can highlight why you're actually applying for this role. Let's say user research or user experience or designer is applying for it. He should mostly be talking about all the user research he has done, or what kind of user experience problem he has solved on the product level, even if he was not already a product manager. So try to rip off everything unnecessary and try to identify those information which is closer or relevant to product management, and try to use the specific keywords. Let's say solving problems, or let's say stakeholder management, or user research, or technical side of things to understand, okay, performance or scalability. All these are the words which people subconsciously look for whenever they are checking the resume, irrespective of if he's a senior or a junior applying for it. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Can you
Yes.
just repeat those words? Solving problems, stakeholder management.
So solving problems is the base, because most of the people, like whenever I ask a product manager on an interview, what is a product manager? If the person is smart enough to answer me that I solve problems, I actually spend more time with that guy. So it is as powerful as that. So solving problems for anybody, it can be. This is a common thing for everybody, irrespective of which field you're in. Let's say business development, UI UX folks, or business operations. Who else? Yeah, the developers. For most of the people, problem solving can be the common word, but for some different other career paths, it can be different thing, like user research, or creating user flows, user interviews. That is for UI UX folks. For developers who is transitioning into product, it is about scalability and what else? Performance and scalability. These two are the important words, because they do that on their day-to-day life, because everything they build should perform well, because there are 100 ways of doing the same thing, whatever they're doing. And scalable, yes, every company is building to scale, so they have to take care of it. And these two words are very important for product managers, basically. And if anybody is from a specific background, if you don't know which word would suit, you can shoot me and tell the career you are in right now. I can help you with some words.
Suresh, what about analytics?
Oh, analytics is another beautiful place where you can problem solving, because you make sense of numbers, right? So you have to specify about solving the problems, and again, structured thought process will be the next step you can mention, because analytics is a structured process. You have to get something out of the numbers, right? Some meaningful insights. So being good with numbers, and again, performance itself overall, because you're crunching some numbers and you're smart already. So you can specify your strengths informing about these. Anybody from a very creative or completely irrelevant career space who is still clueless about what to mention?
Hi, Suresh. This is Mansi here. I just want to, ask you that what I have done, I mean, what I have been doing is I've been mapping my work experience to the product lifecycle processes, right? Starting from the discovery phase to the launch phase. Discovery meaning, understanding users and conducting interviews till the launch phase. But I think the challenge lies in quantifying your experiences, because what I have noticed, please correct me if I'm wrong, what I've noticed is product, I think management, recruiters or the interviewers place a huge importance on the impact that you have created, and that needs to be quantified. So I think each
Yes.
and every project should be quantified, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, if you can quantify, you can. But see, some are a little bit difficult, and this problem is not just for quantifying or proving what you have done in the past. It actually happens when you're actually on the ground and trying to prioritize also. Let's say you have 100 things in your backlog coming from different people, and you have to only if you quantify all of them, you'll be able to prioritize which one I have to pick first, right? Let's say branding team is telling I need to change the overall feel of the product because my brand value is very low. That is something it's very difficult to quantify, and it's okay. That's where we have to draw the line. If you try to quantify, the process itself is going to take a lot of time, and anyway you clearly know you won't come out with a meaningful insight from it. So when you're struggling to quantify something and time by time boxing yourself, then maybe it's okay to not to quantify those.
Okay.
I gave you one example, right? Branding can be one thing, and there
Right.
are a few more other things like user satisfaction. Yes, it is calculable from some feedback which is collected by the users from the users, but still not a very hard number you can put on, because you can correlate that one with the retention numbers and drop off numbers, but still not the direct number you can claim.
Right. Yes, I
Yes.
understand what you're saying.
Okay, let's go. The next step. Okay, what is a good resume? So you guys might have had all of this question in your mind, right? Should I have that first two lines where most of the resumes will have, like, I'm so good at this, and I'm trying to be this, the first two lines of intro? Yes, that line is very important, and that's one of the first thing they usually write. And in most of the resumes, it's like a funnel, right? Resume itself is a product, by the way, especially because you folks are trying to get into product. Resume itself is a product. If your sign up flow is really long and confusing, people are not going to sign up for your product. Just assume the same analogy here. If your first two lines are confusing and not straight to the point and not impressive enough, people won't even read the next line or next para. That's where your experience lies, right? Then this first two lines is like a very short bio. Mention about how good you are. Some people try to mention about this is my vision and I'm on the way trying to reach there, or this is what I'm good at and I'm trying to stay the same, because they have the same experience and they're applying for the same role. Or some people try to inform their strengths about their past experiences. That's why they are trying to transition. So be very clear and be contextual here. So it gains some attention. And next, after this is where people are going to read about your experience. So this first thing, the purpose of why you're applying becomes really important in your resume overall. And yeah, second one is should it be short? Because most of the people, it's like searching in Google whether to drink more water. Google is going to tell yes, drink more water. Google is still going to tell no, drinking too much water is anyway waste. So same way, this answer has been in the gray area for a very long time. It's short or long. Most of the people try to claim it as short, but might not be true, because I have not shortlisted people if I don't have enough information. How will you shortlist? It's okay to have longer resume. If I'm smart enough, I'll try to remove some stuff and find out what I need, unless it is not super boring. But if I don't even have some information, let's say he's telling that he was a product manager in so and so, I I don't know what you did, because I don't know what product management does in that company, because different people do different work with the same role. So it's okay to play there. Don't be too short, thinking that okay, recruiters might not read it. Yes, gaining attention in short is one part, but having all the information is other part. So you have to play in the middle ground. Don't have resumes of 3 pages. Yes, it is too long. But having a 1 page resume also doesn't work, because I don't have enough information to evaluate. And for most of the people with a very strong, good experience in the past, I have reached out to them telling that I need more info. Can you please give that? If something is super highlighted, then they would ask you for an intro. Otherwise, people won't even care, because there is a lag that they have to reach out to you and you have to get back to them. Then they have to evaluate. Don't try to be that resume where you're not getting shortlisted because there's a very less information. Single or multiple. Yes, always have different formats. Try to experiment. Again, it's like a product only. Resume is the product. So try to A/B test your resume. Send it to 4 companies and see your conversion rate. And again, send the different resume to other 4 companies on the similar industry. See what actually works. There's one resume of mine which is actually worked really good. My job confirmation rate whenever I apply is all higher than 90%. That's because I experimented a lot and I got stuck with some resume format, and it actually works even till today. So you guys also can start experimenting on different formats and figure out what actually works for you. And yeah, with cover letter, without cover letter, another big question most of you guys would have. There are 2 ways. If you're very specific about a company and your list is too short, I would always recommend go with a clear cover letter, personal letters for each one of them. Let's say you're applying for less than 10 companies. Yes, it's okay to go with cover letter. Let's say you're just shooting in the dark. You wanted to experiment very differently. Just spray your resume in as many places possible. Then maybe it's not scalable for you if you have to write cover letters for every single company. There's no shortcut there, because I've seen cover letters with a lot of mistakes because they try to copy paste and try to modify. Some things might not make sense. So either be very specific about less number of companies, or just be open about not having cover letter and reaching to as many companies as possible. Still, the conversion rate can be the same, because you might get a lot of responses by seeing a resume and without cover letter. Yeah, and another important information is use the facts and real numbers. Again, as I mentioned, some keywords, right? Same way here also, irrespective of what the numbers are, try to specify. Let's say some analytics person can write about, okay, I created dashboards for the company-wide reporting, and they were using this particular report on a daily frequency level, or some other real numbers you can use is where exactly some business operations. You can specify, let's say a warehouse manager or somebody who's applying, specify the number about the inflow and outflow in the warehouse, to show that, okay, this was the case and I tried doing something and now this is the case, which can actually help people understand your performance and your ability, because only numbers can gain some attention and give some multidimensional understanding for people where you are. And yeah, the last point is exactly the same as the previous slide. Understand your user of resume. So be very specific about it. Is any question about this good resume?
Suresh, you mentioned about the purpose. So like for most of us, should we use want to transition into a product role and then use our relevant like keywords which you were just mentioning, depending on the like.
Okay, so sure. I'll give you a trick. I don't know if you guys are okay to play this game. Uh, just convert whatever you're doing and tell them that this is what you're already doing, which is very similar to product management. That can also be a purpose. One purpose which I can give as example is, yes, I'm a business operations guy in a company, but I'm still most of the time working as whatever work I do is a product manager job. So that's another reason why would I even be on that role if most of my work is on this role. That's another reason why I'm transitioning. So same way, purpose, these kind of purpose I've seen in most of the people who transition, because transition happens because either you feel that you are good at it, or you already have a proof that you are already doing it. So you can specify that in the purpose part. Because if there is no relevance, there's no point in trying to apply, right? Like you can't specify in a resume, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be good at it, can I get it? So the only way is to show the relevance why you are getting there, and that can be part of the purpose.
Yeah, so yeah, like should we use transition word, like I want to transition into this role, and then show the use the important keywords which we have mentioned basis our profiles, which will give a reason to justify. Should we use transition word in the purpose?
No, because this is already part of context that they are applying. The moment they pull their eye down, they already know you are not a product manager. So maybe highlighting that information multiple times can reduce the confidence for them. So it's okay not to have that transition as the word. Just answering this on a psychological level, nothing technical. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Suresh, this is Sudhindra again. So just one question on the length of the resume, like you said. So, but my question is specifically about all the previous jobs we might have done. And like I said, I'm not someone into a product role as such. So can I completely leave it out unless and until I have something relevant to pick up? If not, can I just leave out the entire past experience and call out what I'm currently doing? Will that be fine?
Yes. So usually what happens is same like LinkedIn, right? Wait. If you are chucking something, a big chunk of your information, then maybe that'll arise a question, what you were doing. Let's say there is no information about what you were doing for 1 year in between. Usually people check that, by the way. So this is like 18 to 19, 19 to 21. So suddenly 1 year is not accounted for. So then they ask such questions. Usually what I do, for example, you see this one, phenomena product manager 5 months. Usually I don't highlight this in my resume, by the way. So in the whole timeline, I mention all of this, whatever I did in here, and I skip this even if it is in between. Okay. And it's always better to have this information as a single liner in the footer somewhere, so that they don't feel lost or they don't feel that you're trying to hide something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suresh, so I've been into industry for about 15 years now. So typically I've been into the roles of, as I told you, business development and product marketing or application selling. So how, I mean, I can convert most of my work, as I told you, right? I did work of selling the SaaS application, marketing of SaaS applications. So I should be converting that into a product role and then keeping it in my resume. But my title will be a business development or a marketing guy. So how should we reflect that?
That's completely okay, because even if your role is so and so, nobody is going to question why you did not do your job and why it was different, because it's totally company's expectation, the past company's expectation. To be very frank, in many companies, even after being a product manager, like in the current company itself, I'm the only UI UX guy. I don't even have a designer. So depending on the company's situation and the company's requirement, you tend to do some work which is relevant to some other role. And even if your job title is something and you're claiming that something is something else, the recruiter will definitely try to validate that part when he's actually talking to you, and not judge you for it on your resume level.
Okay.
Because again, it goes back to the same thing, right? There is no proof for whatever you're specifying there.
Suresh, Shrey this side, there's a question that I have. Whenever you scan for the resumes, and the tagline of that resume is basically an aspiring product manager, that does it encourage you or discourage you to look further?
Aspiring product manager, see, it totally depends on the person. I'm kind of a person who tries a lot, and I work with people who are transitioning, because I know if there is no pathway for people to transition, there are going to be very few people in this whole industry. So for people like me, who that word won't really matter. But yes, if their requirement is not to get somebody on a junior level, then maybe aspiring product managers might be the word you might want to avoid. But I would recommend on a personal level, it's okay to put it, because that's what the truth is.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So coming to the some of the technicalities here. Sorry about the mistakes here. So technicalities are make your resume more readable. Some people make it fancy, and it gets really difficult for you to understand what they're actually trying to tell. Some people make it more visual. Some people write it in such a huge font, and I don't like it. And some people, because they misunderstood trying to reduce the size of the resume, they reduce the font size and try to put a lot of information. So don't do such mistakes. Try to do some basic research about uh, what font and what font weight or what font style you should use so that it's readable, and use something universal like source sans, open sans, and all those. It's already registered in the brain of the user, most of the people, right? So the moment you put some random font where it looks a little different, it looks beautiful overall as a document, but if they are struggling even for a microsecond to read and process that information, that's going to disturb their mood. So don't try that. Always go with the fonts which is universally accepted, and font sizes which is not less than 9, and not less than 9 for the usual text, and not less than 12 for headers, something like that. Be specific about this. Might not look like this is going to matter, but subconscious level, people are going to get disturbed, and it might impact you. And again, some things which you people might not have thought about, even the file size and the file format matters. Let's say you are typing it on a Photoshop, or typing it on some design tool and exporting it as a PDF. It will save a lot more extra information with that file, which is unnecessary, because the person is going to just read that information. Try to have your resume in less than 1 MB file. Personal recommendation, nothing technical here, so that irrespective of how whatever speed of internet they have, so it's open. Because most of the recruiter like me, who is walking around and shortlisting people, when I open in my phone and I have a network issue, when somebody's resume doesn't open when I open it, maybe I just lose them completely, because I might have gone to the next application where it opened. So keep the file size crisp, and the format, stick to PDF, no Word, no Google Docs. All these are like editable docs. People get annoyed when they click on it and something changes. So have it in PDF only. Please don't send image resumes, because most of the ATS or any application they are using. It is designed assuming that you're going to send them in a PDF file. Any questions, guys? Okay. Okay, I just added some. Yeah, please go ahead.
Suresh, in the in our each experience with the company, should we explicitly mention the keywords that you told and then explain, or should we mention more on the projects and then in these projects use these keywords? How should we when we define for each and every for a particular organization where we have worked? So should we use keywords and then probably elaborate on the project, or should we elaborate on the project and use keywords in between, which you have just told about problem solving?
Don't elaborate about projects, because the person who is seeing your resume, again, even if you elaborate the project for one whole page, they won't understand the context. Maybe you're not from the same industry. So don't mention, maybe mention just a line about the project to get the direction, but mention about the metrics always. And that will help you. That will help you overall. The moment you jump into descriptive kind of a format, maybe it's too much to read. They'll just scroll through, and if the important information is hidden in one of the paragraphs, then maybe you will lose their attention there.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, after filling the resume, if the information whatever you have done, or if the things whatever you have done is not higher than or not longer than a single page, don't try to add things just to make the resume look big, and it's okay, because lesser the information, and maybe according to me, nobody would have done anything less than a page in their overall career, even a person just coming out of the college. If you know what all to put up and convert the right information to put it, it's always better. Okay. So what else? Yeah. So please be honest about your resume, because the moment something was a highlight, and that's why they have shortlisted you, and they'll have that noted, which I do the most of the times. So whenever they try talking about that, because you don't know what they're going to pick up as an important thing in your resume, right? Once you get in touch with them, when you're in an interview process, if they start asking about that and go deeper, you will be in a trouble. So all the effort you put on getting there will go waste. So never write anything which you're not very careful about. See, whatever you can talk about for more than an hour is what you're going to put in the resume. Anything less, please don't. And it's okay not to put this. And yeah, if you follow most of this, I think you will start getting attention. And one more important thing I'll tell you, which I did, might sound desperate, but it's a competitive world. If you are sending a resume to somebody, and if you think your resume was good enough and you really belong there, and if you did not get a response, so try to send something, some project or some problem statement which is relevant for them, and try to get their attention. That's another second layer which most of the people miss. One real life example is myself. I really wanted to get into baby chakras product management, because I'm the best person suited in the whole India by that time, because I was working with a parenting related product in the past. I had all the knowledge, and I wanted to prove it to her. And I think there were around 600 applications by the time I applied for it. And I did not get a response for more than a week. And I was clearly feeling like, okay, something was amiss, and maybe it was not good enough. My information was not good enough. So I downloaded the Baby Chakra app, and I found out the flaws and the good things about it, sent her a 12-page PDF. And yes, now she was interested to talk to me, and I worked with her for almost more than a year. So if resume as a document is not helping you, and if you really believe from the inside that they should have done it, so you can go overboard and do something more about it. Yeah, guys, this is the last slide. I think that was perfect timing. Did not take too much time. Please open for questions. Please feel free to ask whatever you have. And also, because I mentioned about my resume with the success rate, this is a format I follow if anybody is interested. So I write about my career objective, and this is a single line for those people whoever has only single like less than 10 seconds. And for more, that's why you see this format, right? A single line giving full context, or for more people who got interested from this line, they can jump here. Or if they don't really care about my career objective, and if they wanted to jump into professional experience, again, I specified my role and which company and for how long as one line. If they are interested more, then they jump to more specifics. So this is the format. Sorry. Okay. So this is a format which is helping me a lot. And you might have, you can also notice, because this is more than 4 lines here. And I also wanted to specify some keywords like, okay, this is the Android app, this is the iOS app, retention, stickiness, all
I
this.
think we cannot see.
I think screen is not refreshed.
Why is my screen sharing pause? Just a minute, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, so can you guys see this now? I'm so sorry. I did not know it was not sharing.
Yes, it is audible.
Okay.
I mean, it's visible now.
Okay. So I'm so sorry about that, people. So see this one. Career objective as a header, just your name, so that my name is put on bold and top without any disturbance. Most of the people try to put their name very tiny on the right side. But I believe personally, your name is the only thing they catch, because first they see, then they move about your information, or even if your experience is good enough, because they want an identifier about you, and unique identifier mostly is your name. So highlight your name so that they remember. Then there's a career objective to mention what I'm talking about. So I've designed this resume in a way that those people who don't have time read just one line and go away. I'm okay with that. And other people who have more time read about it. And experience part, I've mentioned about my role. This is not updated. I'm on a different role now. Okay, so which role I'm in, and at which place, and for how long was I there, and which location. So if they're more interested about what I did in this company, if you see my company is, again, because the company also matters, I made them as bold so that it doesn't get hidden. So again here, product manager at Hopscotch with the same format, so that once this structure is created in their brains, consuming next set of information with the same format becomes very easy, because they know where to look for what information. And because Hopscotch is e-commerce, so I highlighted it, because if most of the people are not aware about it, they can get to know. And again, Baby Chakra, I worked a lot on numbers there. That's why I specified a lot of numbers, because I was owning most of the metric. And here is where I learned most of the basics. That's where you can clearly see product lifecycle development, because I can't put all those when I'm leading a product. So if you see here, the experienced people, they tell about the products they built and the team they built and how closely they were involved in the company-wide decisions. And that's why you don't see any big numbers here. But as you keep going down, I have my numbers to specify in different places, the retention and everything else. So my resume will clearly give them an understanding. Okay, this is what he was doing, the basic stuff. Then he worked on the numbers. Then he went into a different industry. Now he's leading a team. So that hierarchy is very clear. Then everything else, other than this, is just a random thing. But some people, I got to know some companies and some people are very specific about which college you're from. Because I'm from a good college, I thought I'll take that as a leverage. I mentioned my college name also, and also specify about some random information if they need, because this format should hold good for some MNCs. where some basic criteria is also to check on these numbers. And yeah, everything else is just an addition, any certification and all this. So I usually made this resume in a format that it is like a Lego. And whenever I'm sending my resume to some people, I usually cut this short into just 2 pages. And for some people whom I think all this information is also needed, I send them to 3 pages, and otherwise I send them the whole. So this format is actually working, and I get shortlisted almost 100% of the time when I send this. Something is working out in this format. If you guys need it, I can send it to you, a link or something. You can just take this into Google Sheet and edit it also. Or it is a very simple format. You can just create it by yourself. Okay, so yeah, how was it? Somebody joined and I did not know. And I don't know. Yeah.
Suresh, Kanchan here. I got one question. So when we are specifying our professional experience, right? So like in my case, I work in a service-based company, right? So highlighting a company name will not give them much. But if like I work as a for another like client, which is a product-based company, so highlighting that product-based company name or product name versus my company name, how it will be, like how we should go about it.
Good question. Again, let's say you transition from a product based to a service based, or service based to a product based. Hold on to the same format. It's okay to put this as a company name, even if it does not have a lot of value. Make it bold here. The moment you change this one into the project you worked on, because it's important one, people lose track of the structure. Structure is very important because that's how people consume information, right? So it's okay to reduce the importance of some information, even if you have to highlight, but if it falls in structure, it is well received. And also, for somebody was asking, right, what do you do if you have something which is not worthy of mentioning? You see this one, where I spent some time with dog pearls and phenomena, but it is not worthy of taking so much space because I spent very less time here. But it's always better to put it here. So suddenly, if they keep on seeing this timeline, suddenly they are like, okay, where is 1 year? And they have that question in their mind. When they say this, they'll be like, okay, this is where that 1 year is. Guys, any questions?
One follow-up question on the same, might not be we can do much about it, but just like as since you're screening the resume and you have experience like in it, but I just wanted to know like how you take that person like having experience in one single product from last 5 years, though they are doing multiple things here and there, but just one product overall for 4 or 5 years. How recruiters or product managers who are hiring see that?
Oh, they see this as a highlight. Very few see that as a red flag. So this is the ATS we are using, by the way. If you guys are still seeing my screen, you guys are still able to see my screen?
Yes, Suresh, it's visible.
Yeah, your resume. Yeah, we can see.
Okay, not the resume. 1 minute, guys. Here you guys can see a new screen here. Browser with
yeah.
With
the graph.
Okay, so this is one of the ATS which we are using in Captain Fresh as of now. So I have some people. I just want to show you what I have done. You see this guy whom we actually offered, and because you are asking about this, I just want to show it to you. You see this guy's resume?
Yeah.
So even if he worked with Just Dial only from 17 to till today, or 13 till today, to be very specific,
yeah,
that's a long time to spend in a single company. But here, what he has beautifully done is he broke his roles into different things, different years of experience. Then he put it forward. So this is another trick you can use. We actually recruited him. Even after he spent such a long time from a web designer, now I'm recruiting him as a product designer. So this is another way you can put it forward.
Yeah, this I'll be able to break it down. Yep. Thanks a lot, Suresh, for your inputs.
Great.
Hi, Suresh. I have a question. I'm sorry, the session is being extended.
No, please, people, go ahead.
So the thing is, I have mostly been working in large MNCs, but last year for a personal reason, I quit my job, and uh, I have started a small business, and to be honest, I'm really embarrassed to even mention it in my resume because it's very, very new, and it's a logistic firm, and so I was actually wondering if I should include it in my resume, to be honest, because it's not a listed firm. uh, I have just started. I mean, it's been 8 months, to be honest. So
Okay. So
yeah,
my personal opinion, yes, you should, because you see this in wait, you see this one. This okay. Wait.
actually,
This Zoom doesn't allow me to share the whole damn thing. 1 minute. Sorry, guys. So
you'll have to pick and choose a screen. Yeah.
yeah, every time. Yeah. So you see this one. If you think it is really not important and I don't want to highlight, you can always put it here. See, I had my own company for almost 1 year, and it was a listed company, non-listed company. It doesn't really matter. It still holds value. And some people actually question about this, and they ask, okay, I see some name that you were working for yourself. What did you do there? So that's another reason why this resume was not updated by removing that. And also on a personal level, whatever you worked on, it is still valuable. That's why you put your time there. So it's okay to highlight, and if you're confident that you can answer anything they ask about it, I think you should put it. It's more valuable. Other people don't
How
get
do
a
you
chance to.
answer? So the next question I want to ask you is, how do you answer to a very obvious question is, why do you want to come back to the professional career? You want to quit your business and come back work for someone else. So I think it's quite obvious that they will ask.
Yes. So you can simply put it. I was too early for the industry, or I still need more information and experience before getting there. I built my own company before even working for any other company, and fortunately it helped me because I built a own company, and people saw that as a positive information. And also, again, on a personal level, yes, it's a hacky way because it's your own company. Whatever skills you learned externally on different mediums, you can always claim and put that in the bucket. For example, if you learned user research and other things from your research, and it was actually not part of your own company, you can actually tell that you did that because you already own the skill. But timeline won't really matter. So own that space and make use of it. And don't remove it. In my personal opinion, it adds more value than your any experience or break that you tried something.
Okay. I was just wondering, or rather, dreading the onslaught of questions that why do you want to, leave your company at a very nascent stage and come back to the, MNC environment?
That's completely okay. No, you just tell them, I tried it. I'm running short of funds. I tried it. I got to know I'm too early for this. Or many things. There can be 100 reasons why a person can stop doing their own stuff and move to a job. Maybe you tell them, I started it too early and I'm planning to learn more from your company because it's already big. Put it forward in that direction. Tell them you already built a big company. I tried it and I couldn't become as big as you. That's why I'm coming here to learn and go back.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, thanks, Suresh. I think this is really helpful.
Great. Yes, talking about resumes and people did not drop off. Fine. Great. We done? Done for the day?
Guys, do you have any more questions? I guess I guess we are done, Suresh. Thank you so much, Suresh, for giving us these insights on resume building. Thanks for your time. And I thank everyone who joined the session. We request you to please give us your feedback for the session. We have shared a link for you guys. So thanks for joining in, and thanks, Suresh. Good
Thank you,
good
guys.
evening to all
Have a
of
great,
you.
great weekend.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Vineeta.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Suresh.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
So
Bye-bye.
much.
Thanks, Suresh.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Suresh. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. I'm sure it would have been useful for everyone. Thanks once again, Suresh. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, guys.